meet with, and kind of work on that. And that's stuff that we can, do some more training on, get some people in our trainings that have really mastered that, because I think that's something important for everybody to learn. Because if you start looking at sales funnels and that thing that Blake put up, that will just make you feel overwhelmed, I think. So, niche and branding, like Risa just said, is kind of important. So that was all I wanted to piggyback on that.
The whole goal of that is that once we get that process down, then we'll have a cost per lead, and then basically you can scale it. So we're not going to have everybody make one of those things. What that's going to be is, if you want to participate in it, once we get it done, we'll know what it costs, the end cost is to get a lead through that system, and then we'll be able to say, hey, if you want these leads, here's our cost. You guys can get them, and you don't have to put all that together, and they'll be highly qualified leads. And like Angie said, then you can do that with any age demographic or nurses or whatever you want to go after. But that's another topic for another day. I was just kind of sharing that with you. That was just part of the networking stuff. If we did a training, it's actually the third day of our Go Emerald training. We do a My Hot Market system. It's a YouTube training that we learned from some other people in a whole other company that works pretty well if you do it. Karen did it, had some great success with it. Kevin and Milan actually are doing something. So if you go watch that training, it's basically you put together your list of top 20 people that if you were broken down on the side of a freeway and you could call 20 people to come pick you up without fail, they would be there for you. So this is not your coworker that maybe you see at the water cooler. This is not somebody you just met a week ago. This is not somebody that you see every 6 months. This is somebody that here, literally, if you were broken down on the side of the road, you picked up the phone, called them, they would be there for you without fail, just like you would be there for them. So there's a training on that, and it's kind of like, will you do me a favor type thing, and there's a whole 30-minute training on that. And if you haven't seen that, then I can post that on Team for Evolution. But what Kevin and Milan are doing is they're getting, now we got a free 30-day trial of Beachbody on Demand. As you probably, I assume you all know that, but what they're doing is they're coupling that up with getting people to purchase the $29 Shakeology sampler, the 6-day sampler, and then getting them to do a workout. So they go in there and pick a workout. So now they're going to give them, $1,500 to $2,000 worth of value if they get on Beachbody on Demand free for 30 days. Get them on the Shakeology sampler for 6 days with a day off, basically, and getting them success in 7 days. And they're having some pretty good success, it sounds like, with doing that. So essentially, you're basically for $30, and yeah, you're not going to make a lot of money with it, and we have to test it, but you can essentially get somebody on Beachbody on Demand for 30 days, but essentially you put up a 7-day program where you can get to do it. If you want to do 2 weeks, you can give them buy 2 of them for whatever, it's $58, and then they get all the workouts for 2 weeks, for 30 days, but you put together a little 2-week or 7-day program for them. And if they do that, they will have success in 7 days. And so what they're trying to do is get people to get success in 7 days or 2 weeks or whatever program you want to put together, and by doing those Shakeology sample packs instead of getting them to buy the whole Shakeology 30-day thing. Now you can do that as well, and we'll have to test this, but you could start out, if you go look at that training, it was based on just getting people to try Shakeology. Well, now you can get them to try Shakeology for 30 days also, if you want to. So you have to watch that training, and I'll post it in Team for Evolution. It's a really great way to get people that you know to try your product without risk, get them on Shakeology. But now, if you look at that training, you can add 30 days, if you want, of the workouts. So you're going to get somebody for anywhere from, depending upon how you want them to do it, 7 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Like you can only buy one sample pack of Shakeology.
Okay, so they only can do 7 days. But their husband and wife, they can do 2.
Yeah, but it have to be 2 separate orders and 2 separate emails.
Right. But anyway, that's something else that we just got that from Kevin and Milan that they're doing. They're doing the 7-day one. But if you have a husband and wife, you can do 2 weeks of it. So here again, that's just something we learned from networking. And I guess what I'm trying to get at with that is when you go to these events, there's so many amazing people you can meet there. And, we got a couple people here, Darren and Karen, if you guys want to chime in at any time, and talk about what you're
doing. And Risa.
Risa's, yep, there's Risa. I think I saw Heather somewhere too, but I'm going to cover the Beachbody On Demand stuff and what we learned in that training, and then I'll open it up to Karen and Risa and Darren if you guys want to chime in what you guys learned from that you can say. So the Beachbody On Demand, we got in a little bit late. This is a little sketchy, but they say you can go, they were directing us to a web page called club.beachbody.com to go and get the free 30-day trial. But the problem with that is right now it's not tied to your Coach ID. So they can get the free trial, but they won't be tied to you, and you'd have to go in there and find another way to do that. So that was kind of a little bit of a sketchy thing, and they know they're working on to get the Coach ID tied to that so that you should get them to sign up for that. Now, Chad's a little bit smarter than me. He may have some thing he's already doing that we don't know about. I'm going to do a little bit of a more, these are just the notes we took in the dark. So here's some numbers from when so far for the doing the club for the 30-day trial. From March to March, so basically from March of last year to this year of March, there was a 40% increase on people in the club. 15, I'm just going with my notes, 15% increase in the club the first month. People doing the whatever talking in the background. Got some more people on here. Everybody's muted. Okay. So the first month there was a 15% increase in club memberships. A 25% increase in daily users, meaning people that were actually using the club increased by 25% because of adding the, all the workouts and everything like that, obviously. So that was pretty good. 75% of the views, meaning 75% of the people or the coaches or people that went into the club with the Beachbody On Demand, their views were spread over 9 different programs, meaning they just didn't go under one program. They were actually going in and trying up to 9 different programs. So those are just numbers they threw out for us. One gal, because of this, Megan E. Waldson, she sold her first month 15 challenge packs in March, and she calls herself, you can probably Google her or find her on Facebook, she called herself the March Misfits. Might be a group to go after and see what that group did. They know they got some technical issues. So some of the questions that came up was people were saying that they are having streaming problems. They found out that most of the streaming issues were on the user's end. So if you get coaches that are saying, hey, I've been trying to get in here and use the Beachbody On Demand, they get back to you and say, hey, this stuff's not working really well. They said the majority of the problems after they got through with coach relations were basically end users. And if you go to the Beachbody On Demand technical or the FAQs, you're going to find that there is some, it was either an operator error, but there's some system requirements that people didn't have with their system. So understand that that's something that may or may not be Beachbody's fault. Did say that they do have some issues that they're working on. So if people get the challenge pack, they get Beachbody On Demand. Here again, this is real important for you to understand. So if somebody does get the challenge pack with the Beachbody On Demand, after 30 days, they're going to be automatically billed. And it does state that in there, but you may they're just cautioning everybody to make sure that you call, if you get somebody on that challenge pack, that they get, make sure that you contact them like on the 25th or 6th saying, hey, you guys are going to be billed for this again, so I want to make sure you want to stay on it. So that they don't get upset because they got billed after that first 30 days. They said it's very pronounced in there that when they sign up for that it will be they will get billed for it. And they said, with your follow-up, just talk to them and say, this is no different than Netflix or Hulu or anything like that, that, you know, when you pay that monthly service fee, this is just obviously a quarterly one, but, you know, basically they charge you monthly, you know, just like if you sign up for one of those services, they'll say, hey, just like Hulu or Netflix, you know, Beachbody, you know, as you know, you got your first 30-day trial, they're going to be charging you $38, well, whatever, how much it is for the next 90 days. They talked about international, because the question was brought up, can I get, since obviously this is not a physical product being sold that has to be shipped, can somebody in Mexico or the UK or Australia or some other country, can they sign up? And technically, the answer is yes, because all they need is an email address, but they were very adamant about do not screw this up for Beachbody because they want to go into these countries right. And if we get a bunch of people going to different countries and signing people up for Beachbody On Demand, and they're in that country and the word starts spreading before it's been approved by whatever compliance issues are with that country, then you could, you know, we as the coaching network could screw that up for the company, and we might not be able to get into one of those countries. So basically they're saying this is basically USA and Canada only. Can't do it for a second. It was brought up, can somebody, if they were a coach or they had a free trial, if they had been a club member in the past and they had quit, can they get the 30-day trial for free? The answer is no, unless of course they use a separate email, because everything, if you guys don't know this, everything in Beachbody is tied to their email. So if somebody was in a club member tied to a specific email address and they quit the club membership, that email address will not be allowed to get the free 30-day trial. So they would have to then either pay for the club immediately or find another email address, and then they could get the free 30 days again. And that was about it. It was a really short meeting. And I'll post the FAQs or Chad will, because he usually beat me to it, but so that was the only real meeting we went to, short of.
Well, we went to the meeting with Carl when he made the announcements for the new products.
Oh, yeah.
And
right, so take it away.
oh, well, I thought, so you caught me off guard. I thought Karen was going to talk about it, but that's right, Karen didn't go. No, the opening meeting that they had for, I think that was on Thursday morning, was really great to have the opportunity to get to hear Carl talk. I don't know, I know there's a lot of new coaches on here. I think Ted said we had 60 new coaches, or I don't know how many new coaches hit Team Fit Revolution, but one of the neat things about going to an event like this is you get to hear Carl speak, and you'll get to do the same thing at Summit if you're going to Summit. But when you get to hear Carl talk, the man just speaks from his gut and his heart. And I don't know, maybe I was just in a very emotional mood, but I got very teary-eyed listening to him talk about, where we're at and where we're heading. And, it was pretty cool. We are learning about new products that were coming out, to get that sneak peek of some, a new fitness program, which, let's see if I have I gotta make sure I say it right.
Cize.
I know, yeah, Cize. Okay, so the end of exercise is here with Shaun T's newest program, Cize. Okay, I'm really uncoordinated when it comes to dancing. If any of you are familiar with Seinfeld, Elaine, when she dances, that's me. So this program looks fun to me, and I think it's going to hit a lot of different people, and I think it's going to get a lot of different people excited that you're going to get to actually learn how to be a cool dancer from Shaun T. And it sounds like the way he's broken it down, he's really going to take you through learning how to do it right. And not get stressed out, but I'll believe it when I see it, because like I said, I have no rhythm whatsoever. So if I can learn to dance, anybody can learn to dance. And it was kind of fun because Sean T actually took Carl through some, couple of steps and kind of got him dancing, and the next thing we knew, Carl had kind of some swag going and some facial expressions and doing some, he made it look like it was fun and easy. So I think it's going to be a fun program. And I'm sure, Karen, it's not true. Well, that was under the influence of Cancun and maybe a tequila shot, Karen. But again, I do look like Elaine when I dance. So, but I think it's going to be a great program, because I think it's going to be a great transition, crossover kind of program, because we have so much, cardio and weightlifting and body beast. And granted, Sean T had rockin' body and everything. I don't know where all that went, but I guess maybe got dated and, or it got outdated or whatnot. But what little we saw of the trailer of this workout looks like it's going to be fun. It's going to get a lot of different people interested in our programs. So I think it's going to be, and I know the other coaches that were there would probably like to, input what their thoughts are on it. And I'm really excited too about new consumables. Fitness programs are awesome, but you can only buy them one time. So I'm really excited by the fact that they came up with these they've been working really hard on new consumables. It's called Energize, which is a pre-workout to help improve energy and endurance. Hydrate during a workout to support hydration during exercise. Recover post-workout to help speed muscle recovery. Recharge nighttime to support overnight muscle recovery. Plus creatine to help improve high-intensity exercise performance. These are all going to be coming out at Summit. There's FAQs in the back office. So the FAQ for the new products are FAQ 2416. And the FAQ for the workout is 2361. Now, the cool thing about this new Beachbody performance line is the doctors that they brought in to help develop it. These guys are from Oxford, super smart, great accents, but more importantly, very smart and very much looking at, a product that's not going to be a Me Too product. It's going to be a product that's really going to make a difference. And the cool thing is, because I think I saw a post from Robert Hudgens, who's also on our team. He knows Tony Horton very well, and he says Tony Horton is very much a supplement snob, which he should be, because his body is his business. And I guess Tony has been using the products for quite some time. Carl even mentioned it at the meeting that he's been using them, I think, Blake, did he say like a month? And he liked them so much, he came back to Carl and he goes, hey, can you hook me back up? He wanted more of the product, and I believe Tony Horton did tell Robert that the products are really that good, and he's really impressed with them. So Tony Horton seal of approval on our new consumables. And what's that going to mean for your business? You just have something else to share with your team, with your customers. It's going to make a big difference in your volume. Go to the FAQs, learn about it, so that by the time Summit rolls around, you're very well educated on the new fitness program and the new supplements, and you can see a big surge in your business if you handle it right, along with the Beachbody On Demand with the club membership. That could be big business for you.
Drink while you're working out, a post-workout, and then something you drink before you go to bed that really, they said, kind of just helps you sleep like a baby and wake up energized. And so that was, between him and Tony, and some of the other people that have been testing it, they said it was just off the charts. I mean, no BS, a very, very...
Yeah, he even brought up leg day, remember? Remember he said leg day, when he pushes really hard on leg day, it knocks him out for 2 days.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And now that he's been using these supplements, he said he no longer gets knocked out for 2 days because of leg day, because however these products are working, they're working. So that was kind of exciting to hear, because I hate it when the second day after a good leg workout, it hurts to sit down, stand up, breathe, sneeze, anything.
And then, if anybody else, is that Charles Leslie there? Got anything you want to say, buddy?
as far as the supplements, I am pumped. That was one of the ingredients-wise, that's one of the main things I'm really excited for.
Yeah, or just your whole thoughts of the, anything you saw there, or if you went to any other meetings or anything, or just, 5 minutes or whatever you thought was great there that you learned, or even just sharing the experience so people can know they need to get on. I think next year we're going on a cruise. We guys got the whole ship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I took I bumped into you a couple times, so you know my personal story a little bit more. So my wife and I got to experience this trip very, very last minute, and it was all limiting belief that was holding me back. And that's something, Blake and I'm sure we're going to work out a team call. We can talk more about that. But as far as the whole experience, I mean, these kinds of trips, they're non-negotiable. This was my third time going. My first one I was brought to in the Bahamas 2012 as a guest. And I came out of that thing, that lit my fire. I was not going to miss one of those things. So coming out of this particular one, it just, every single time you go to an event, especially on this level, because Summit is so large now, that for those of us who have been around for a few years, we know that Summit used to be very small and personal. And then you get to these larger summits now, and you almost lose that personal touch. So these Success Club trips are like mini summits. You have the leaders, not just a bunch of newbie coaches who show up, but you get the leaders plugged into one area. And I was telling my team in a recording I did while I was in Cancun, I'm sitting here showing them all the fancy stuff. We had like the double wide jacuzzi tub inside our rooms. We had the beautiful scenery, and I'm showing all this. And I say, you know what? This means nothing. It's the fact that you set a goal, you busted your ass, you made the sacrifices, and you kept showing up every single day, and you got your butt there. And for somebody like myself in my situation that we were in with a newborn, the last 4 months have been no sleep and very stressful, all that kind of stuff that comes with it. And so spur of the moment, we decided, you know what, we're going to make this thing happen. And I was able to give my wife the break that she needed, the vacation that she deserved, and nothing can beat that. And for me, that's why these events are so important, because we all come back fired up, because we not only got to experience it firsthand, but we came back and we have that. It's hard to really even explain it. It's just so embedded in you to get there next year, because by getting there and setting the goal and registering ahead of time, you're ensuring that you're going to put in the work to get there. I mean, we've all had experiences where we go to Summit. For those of us, I've been to 5 summits, which is crazy how fast it goes by. So I've been to 5 summits, and there's been several summits where I come out on fire, right? And 2 months down the road, I'm kind of back twiddling my thumbs watching TV like I used to. And it's always the Success Club trips. I don't know what it is about those things, but because they're a little bit smaller, more personal, you're able to connect with people a lot better. I always come out of these things, and these trips are where I keep soaring. So you bet your butt that I'm going to begin at every single one because of that.
Well, actually, tell your story though. You
okay, kind of what I shared with you.
Yeah,
okay.
That was like on my mind. So I just tell everybody what you did and like.
Okay, yeah. So I've been signed up with this thing for 6 years. So I treat it like a hobby for 4 years, and the last 2 years I've been busting my butt. So coming into this thing, we had our baby boy came a little bit early, so we were actually inside of the intensive care unit for 2 weeks with him back in late December. So we spent Christmas inside the hospital. And when we came out of that, we spent the last 4 months, just living the whole lifestyle that new parents do with no sleep and all that extra stuff that comes with it. And financially, there were these 3 weeks where we were just super, super tight on money. And we made the mistake about 2 months ago. We saw the Cancun tickets pop up on just Kayak or one of those search engines. And we made the mistake of going, let's just wait and see if they drop. Those things kept climbing and climbing and climbing. And it finally hit the point where I checked, and these things were $1,400 because we booked our flight 6 days before we actually flew out. So we were looking at $1,400, plus we were flying in a day early to save some money, which we had to pay for an extra hotel and blah, blah, blah. So we budgeted, we need $1,600 to get to this trip. And we did not have $1,600. And I'll never forget, I had to roll over one night because I was waiting for my wife's paycheck to come through. And this is where limiting belief was a big, big problem of mine, was I was relying on my wife's paycheck as a backup, which you can't do that, especially if you're a spouse and you're in that situation. You can't rely on that backup. You have to act like Beachbody is all you have. And for some of us, it is. You have to put everything into this thing. So I'll never forget when it struck about 2 a.m. and I knew her deposit was coming in. And so 2 a.m. I pull up my phone. I'm like, okay, cool. She made this much money, and I know that we're going to be able to buy her tickets now. And she made about $400 less than I thought we were going to get. And so I had to turn over at 2 a.m. and I had to tell her, we're not going to Cancun. And mind you, I earned the trip by June 2013. No, 14. I earned the trip within 6 months. So for over a year, we had been planning on coming to this thing. For over a year, my wife, for me, I lived the Beachbody lifestyle. I do this full time. So for me, it was kind of just another trip. It was going to be another fun thing to go on, come back motivated. But for her, this is her vacation. She came off of working off a full-time job. We went through the whole hospital experience with our baby boy and the last 4 months of no sleep and all that stress. So this was more than just a trip for her, and I lost sight of that. And so I'll never forget the look when I had to tell her we're not going to be able to go to Cancun. And she, for those of you husbands out there, the look. She said, "Oh, that's okay." There was a fire that got lit under my butt. So I looked at where we were at with finances, and we could not afford the $1,600 to get down to Cancun. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to rely on the income that we already have. I'm not going to rely on my wife's paycheck like I have been for the last 3 years. So between there and 7 days later, I can't even tell you how many hours I put into this thing. Not just the hours, but the quality of work I was putting into those hours. Because we all know there's a difference between being busy and being productive. And now I finally went through this experience of Cancun and getting there, I realized how busy I've been the last 3 years. And now I can finally say I am productive as a coach. I put in the work, I put in the hours. We needed $1,600 within 7 days. I earned $1,636.
Woohoo!
7 days. I did what it took, and it was that limiting belief. And another funny thing is, I told Blake this when I bumped into him at one of our dinners. The 2 days before we were going to fly out to Cancun, so we already bought the tickets. Everything's like, okay, finally we can breathe. I can take a nap for once. Finally we can breathe. We booked the tickets. I looked at where I was at with the business, and I'm like, hey, I have 0 Success Club points, kind of where I'm sitting right now. And I was waiting for challenge packs to come through, and most of them were going to come through the week we were going to be down there. So I looked at 0 conversations going. I had 0 Success Club points, and I caught myself saying, I have 10 days to finish off the month strong when I get back from Cancun, which for those of us who like to hit Success Club, we all struggle with waiting till the last 3 days of the month, and then we're like gung-ho about it, right? What if we took that intensity of those last 3 days of the month, and we did that for the full 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? Where would your business be? So that's the intensity that I brought. But I caught myself saying, when I come back from Cancun, I'm going to bust my butt, and I'm going to finish off my Success Club like I wanted. And the second I caught myself thinking that, I said, no, limiting belief. I'm doing it again, like subconsciously, I was already doing it again. So within 24 hours, the morning that I left on the flight to get to Cancun, Success Club 10 and 3 new coaches. And it literally all is up here, guys. Just like Blake had told me, there's a difference between your heart and your mind, right? A lot of us are stuck in the position where I've been diamond for 3 years. Sure, it's great to say I'm diamond, but I'm sick of saying, hey, my name is Charles, I'm a diamond. Because I know I am superstar diamond quality, but I've never backed it up with the action. And here's the biggest thing, and Blake pointed this out, and it totally made sense. You can have your heart 100% in this thing. You can want it more than anybody else on the face of the planet, but that all means nothing if you don't have the belief to back it up. Because right here is what messes us up. It doesn't matter how much your heart is in this thing if you do not believe you can get there. And that was the cap that got lifted. And it's like, finally I can see clearly where I'm at in the business, where I need to be, and what I need to do. So not only did I make that trip happen, but by making that trip happen, by putting in solid effort for those 7 days, by telling myself for 7 days, for 1 week, I'm going to pretend I'm a top 10 coach. For 1 week, I'm going to work harder than I ever have. And yeah, exactly. Talking about the no's down there in the chat. I can't tell you how many no's I had in that 1 week. Unbelievable. I had more in that 1 week than I have in probably 6 months. Because I just said, screw it. I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm going to invite everybody. And so not only did I earn the trip, but it was, like I said earlier, it wasn't about Cancun itself. It was the fact that I believed in myself enough to achieve something that I never thought would be possible. And for myself, that limiting belief was an income number of $1,000. That was the max I ever hit before, so subconsciously I'm thinking that's what I make. Same thing with being stuck at diamond, right? I'm a diamond. That's me. But for once, I stuck with a goal and put in more intensity than I ever have. We're all Eric Worre fans here, right? If you've done his Insanity Boot Camp on the GoPro All Access, you understand. If you have not gone through that training, do it, because you will understand the focused intensity that it takes to build this business. So not only, again, did I go to Cancun, but it wasn't about Cancun. It was the fact that I set a goal and I stuck with it. I put in the sacrifice. I put in the work. I got over my fears, and I just talked to people. That's all. That's my little tidbit.
Oh, my God. That is so Charles, sending you a big hug.
You two have been here with me since the beginning, so you definitely know.
Awesome job, man. Way to go.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for letting me get on here and share a little bit.
Thanks for sharing. I know we have some other coaches with some great stories, too.
Yeah, maybe we'll have you do a detailed training on what you did for that time frame, but that was great. So that's what's possible when you put your mind to it. A lot of you guys, we're kind of in that same position, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to belate. Is anybody else, Risa, Darren, Karen, anybody want to say anything? Karen's, or Risa's no? She's got
I see Risa shaking her head no. I know Darren wanted to talk, and I know Karen did.
Karen's like, well, hell no.
I can talk for a second. I attended, actually made it to one training. I went to the training on the new back office because I was kind of excited about that. They have a brand new back office coming out. The point where it's coming out, I was a little disappointed in. They said first quarter of 2016, but it really looks amazing, and it's going to be completely mobile friendly. Because now, if you go on your iPhone or your iPad, the back office, it doesn't format or scale properly. So they're fixing that problem. It's going to have a lot more metrics that you can call up in different ways. You can play with the numbers and your customers, and it looked much nicer than the current one that we have. So that's kind of exciting news. I'm sure they'll talk about it at Summit. But they're working really hard on redoing the back office.
Good. And you had a good time, right?
I had a great time. Yeah, it was an amazing experience. Sorry?
You had a little breakthrough. We had a little meeting up in our room, and you kind of shared a little bit of what's going on with you, and then you kind of had a little of a fun breakthrough. Not getting into what's going on, but you had just being around that group took kind of what you're having a little bit of stuff going on in life, like we all get from time to time, but you, that changed quickly, I think, because of the group and the people and just having a good time and all that, right?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing with Beachbody, it's not just a business, it's the people, and it's just incredible, like the support you get and the camaraderie, and I'm facing a lot of challenges right now, and just to be around such positive people, and to get a lot of that great positive reinforcement from everyone, it just really dragged me out of a rut, and even coming back, I feel a lot stronger, more focused. It was definitely well worth the time going down to Cancun.
Good, awesome. Well, anything else? Or that's it.
Well, I'm excited to learn how to dance.
That's a whole nother story.
I could put together a whole program. I just need a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, great. Karen's got the pictures, Darren. Did you see that? I believe in some video.
Well, we can just create, my own Shanti type program using those videos.
There you go. Speaking of Karen, we need to throw her under the bus. Where is she?
Why I gotta get thrown under the bus? I did nothing. I was good. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. First I'll start with Cancun. We had a blast. It was a lot of fun. Besides all the training and all of that, the big deal for me about going to Cancun was just being around all that positive energy. No one in my life here is into the same type of thing that I'm into, health and fitness, and just trying to create the life that you want to live. No one in my personal life is like that. So for me, going to all these events, it saves me. It keeps me probably from going to jail, because getting around all that positivity, it was awesome. I came home and I'm almost like a totally different person. I've had, my boss, 3 or 4 people say, oh my God, what happened to you? So if you get the opportunity to go on any of these trips, go do the work and get there. It was 100% worth it. This trip, I think I cried more, laughed more, and definitely ate and drank more than I have ever done in a 5-day period. But we had a blast and it was totally worth it. The other thing I want to talk about while I'm on this call, and I'm going to be real super quick, is we are going to do a team sneak peek. What that means is for 5 days, we're going to start on May the 4th. So write that date down. That gives you a chance to invite your people. If you invite people into the group, you need to make sure that you get into the group as well. You're going to invite them to learn more about the opportunity. The verbiage that you use will 100% depend on what type of relationship that you have with the people that you're trying to invite. You're going to put them in this private group. There'll be 2 posts every day for 5 days. The posts are designed to get everyone to kind of engage in conversation. And if you're putting people in there, that's going to help you kind of see where they are. And it's also going to tell them almost all the nuts and bolts of what we do without getting too involved. Just enough to get their interest up. So the sneak peek's gonna start on May the 4th. Start inviting people now. I will create the group in the morning and you can start inviting people, and I'll put them in the group. Just send me a quick message or something, or I'll post the link and we'll figure it out. No, I will not be creating an event. This is something that you need to personally pick up the phone and call and invite people to, or text them, or Facebook message them, however your relationship is with them. I don't do events for sneak peeks. It kind of takes away the whole, you're special, I'm inviting you into this thing. If there's this big group that we're just inviting everybody, I don't want to do that. You want to make them feel like you're personally choosing them for whatever reason it is, because you want them to be on your team. So I won't be doing an event invite. I think I saw, who's that? Risa. That was Risa. I got pictures of you too, Risa. Just invite people to that. If you have questions on that, you can call me, or you can Facebook message me, because we've had you guys on the phone for a really long time. So that's it. That's all I got. Cool. Oh no, one more thing I forgot. Monday, coming up, this Monday will be a new Go Emerald training. So Blake's gonna send me the link, and then I'm gonna post it in the group. So you guys can invite any of your coaches that haven't gone through the Go Emerald training, invite them to the group. You need to make sure that you do the 7-day quick start with them first. That's the order of everything. And if you miss the order of everything, it's in a gorgeous little graphic that Chad painstakingly put together. and it's in the group. That's it.
Cool. Thanks, Karen.
You're welcome.
All right, I think I saw on the chat thing there that Charles, you're going to do interested in doing a training on kind of what your little blitz was then, huh? Okay, cool. Well, with that, we'll close it out for tonight. I did record about 95% of it. I missed the first few minutes, but so we're about 20 after, been on about 50 minutes, and thanks for joining us. And we'll so I'll get this up tonight, maybe first thing tomorrow morning, so some of your other coaches can see it. You know, I think you got some good information there, especially Charles got me all fired up, man. All over. Brought it on. So with that, let's close it out for tonight. Thank you guys all for participating. Just remember, when we post these, if you can pass them on to your team, the link that we post there, because the size of our group, we can no longer invite the entire group. So to get your people on there, you got to invite them, unless because it falls down in that feed too. So we can't invite everybody now any longer unless we do it one by one, and that would take forever. So when we post these, what's Karen laughing about? Okay. With that, so we'll close it out for the night. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on Team for Evolution, and we'll see you next Thursday as well, and we'll get Charles on there to get you guys all fired up here, probably next week or the week after, or wherever Charles can do it. All right? Good night, everybody.